So this part is called The Desert. Again, reading from Jung's Red Book, the Liber Primus. Sixth night. My soul leads me into the desert of my own self. I did not think that my soul is a desert, a barren, hot desert, dusty and without drink. The journey leads through hot sand, slowly waiting without a visible goal to hope for. How eerie is this wasteland? It seems to me that the way leads so far away from mankind. I take my way step by step, and do not know how long my journey will last. Why is myself a desert? Have I lived too much outside of myself, in men and in events? Why did I avoid myself? Was I not dear to myself? But I have avoided the place of my soul. I was my thoughts, and I was no longer events and other men, but I was not myself confronted with my thoughts. I should also rise up above my thoughts to my own self. My journey goes there, and that is why it leads away from men and events into solitude. Is it solitude to be with oneself? Solitude is true only when the self is a desert. Should I also make a garden out of the desert? Should I people a desolate land? Should I open the airy garden, the airy magic garden of the wilderness? What leads me into the desert, and what am I to do there? Is it a deception that I can no longer trust my thoughts? Only life is true, and only life leads me into the desert. Truly not my thinking that would like to return to thoughts, to men and events, since it feels uncanny in the desert. My soul, what am I to do here? But my soul spoke to me and said, wait. I heard the cruel word. Torment belongs to the desert. Through giving my soul all I could give, I came to the place of the soul, and found that this place was a hot desert, desolate and unfruitful. No culture of the mind is enough to make a garden out of your soul. I had cultivated my spirit, the spirit of this time in me, but not that spirit of the depths that turns to the things of the soul, the world of the soul. The soul has its own peculiar world. Only the self enters in there, or the man who has completely become his self, he who is neither in events, nor in men, nor in his thoughts. Through the turning of my desire from things and men, I turned myself away from things and men. But that is precisely how I became the secure prey of my thoughts. Yes, I wholly became my thoughts. I also had to detach myself from my thoughts through turning my desire away from them. And at once, I noticed that myself became a desert, where only the sun of unquiet desire burned. I was overwhelmed by the endless infertility of this desert. Even if something could have thrived there, the creative power of desire was still absent. Wherever the creative power of desire is, there springs the soil's own seed. But do not forget to wait. Did you not see that when your creative force turned to the world, how the dead things moved under it and through it, how they grew and prospered, and how your thoughts flowed in rich rivers? If your creative force now turns to the place of the soul, you will see how your soul becomes green, and how its field bears wonderful fruit. Nobody can spare themselves the waiting, and most will be unable to bear this torment, but will throw themselves with greed back at men, things, and thoughts, whose slaves they will become from then on. Since then it will have been clearly proved that this man is incapable of enduring beyond things, men, and thoughts, and they will hence become his master, and he will become their fool, since he cannot be without them, not until even his soul has become a fruitful field. Also he whose soul is a garden needs things, men, and thoughts. But he is their friend, and not their slave and fool. Everything to come was already in images. To find their soul, the ancients went into the desert. This is an image. The ancients lived their symbols, since the world had not yet become real for them. Thus they went into the solitude of the desert to teach us that the place of the soul is a lonely desert. There they found the abundance of visions, the fruits of the desert, the wondrous flowers of the soul. Think diligently about the images that the ancients have left behind. They show the way of what is to come. Look back at the collapse of empires, of growth and death, of the desert and monasteries. They are the images of what is to come. Everything has been foretold, but who knows how to interpret it? When you say that the place of the soul is not, then it is not. But if you say that it is, then it is. Notice what the ancients said in images. The word is a creative act. The ancients said, "In the beginning was the word." Consider this, and think upon it. The words that oscillate between nonsense and supreme meaning are the oldest and truest. Next part is called Experiences in the Desert. After a hard struggle, I have come a piece of the way nearer to you. How hard this struggle was! I had fallen into an undergrowth of doubt, confusion, and scorn. I recognize that I must be alone with my soul. I come with empty hands to you, my soul. What do you want to hear? But my soul spoke to me and said, if you come to a friend, do you come to take? I knew that this should not be so, but it seems to me that I am poor and empty. I would like to sit down near you and at least to feel the breath of your animating presence. My way is hot sand, all day long, sandy, dusty paths. My patience is sometimes weak, and once I despaired of myself, as you know. My soul answered and said, you speak to me as if you were a child complaining to its mother. I am not your mother. I do not want to complain, but let me say to you that mine is a long and dusty road. You are to me like a shady tree in the wilderness. I would like to enjoy your shade. But my soul answered, you are pleasure-seeking. Where is your patience? Your time has not yet run its course. Have you forgotten why you went into the desert? My faith is weak. My face is blind from all that is shimmering blaze of the desert sun. The heat lies on me like lead. Thirst torments me. I dare not think how unendingly long my way is, and above all, I see nothing in front of me. But the soul answered, you speak as if you have still learned nothing. Can you not wait? Should everything fall into your lap ripe and finished? You are full, yes, you teem with intentions and desirousness. Do you still not know that the way to truth stands open only to those without intentions? I know that everything you say, O my soul, is also my thought, but I hardly live according to it. The soul said, "How? Tell me, do you then believe that your thoughts should help you?" I would always like to refer to the fact that I am a human being, just a human being, who is weak and sometimes does not do his best. But the soul said, "Is that what you think it means to be human?" You are hard, my soul, but you are right. How little we still commit ourselves to living. We should grow like a tree that likewise does not know its law. We tie ourselves up with intentions, not mindful of the fact that intention is the limitation. Yes, the exclusion of life. We believe that we can illuminate the darkness with an intention, and in that way aim past the light. How can we presume to want to know in advance from where the light will come to us? Let me bring only one complaint before you. I suffer from scorn, my own scorn. But my soul said to me, "Do you think little of yourself?" I do not believe so. My soul answered, "Then listen. Do you think little of me? Do you still not know that you are not writing a book to feed your vanity, but that you are speaking with me? How can you suffer from scorn if you address me with those words that I give you? Do you know, then, who I am? Have you grasped me, defined me, and made me into a dead formula? Have you measured the depths of my chasms, and explored all the ways down which I am yet going to lead you? Scorn cannot challenge you if you are not vain to the marrow of your bones. Your truth is hard. I want to lay down my vanity before you, since it blinds me. See, that is why I also believed my hands were empty when I came to you today. I did not consider that it is you who fills empty hands, if only they want to stretch out. Yet they do not want to. I did not know that I am your vessel, empty without you, but brimming over with you. This was my 25th night in the desert. This is how long it took my soul to awaken from a shadowy being to her own life, until she could approach me as a free-standing being separate from me. And I received hard but salutary words from her. I needed that, taking in hand, since I could not overcome the scorn within me. The spirit of this time considers itself extremely clever, like every such spirit of the time. But wisdom is simple-minded, not just simple. Because of this, the clever person mocks wisdom, since mockery is his weapon. He uses the pointed, poisonous weapon, because he is struck by naive wisdom. If he were not struck, he would not need the weapon. Only in the desert do we become aware of our terrible simple-mindedness. We are afraid of admitting it. That is why we are scornful. But mockery does not attain simple-mindedness. The mockery falls on the mocker, and in the desert, where no one hears and answers, he suffocates from his own scorn. The cleverer you are, the more foolish your simple-mindedness. The totally clever are total fools in their simple-mindedness. We cannot save ourselves from the cleverness of the spirit of this time through increasing our cleverness, but through accepting what our cleverness hates most, namely, simple-mindedness.